Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Sports Huddle. I am joined with my co-hosts, Abbas and Owen. How are you doing on this fine
Doing
day?
great. Doing great.
Yeah, it's a pretty good day. It's a weird day. It's been kind of rainy, but also hot.
Yeah.
But today we got some news about some Madden ratings and What do you guys think about Patrick Mahomes getting 99 overall?
Makes sense.
No,
we could all see it coming.
No, you know what?
Why do you
Lamar Jackson gets the cover athlete. He should be a 99 on 94.
You know what surprised me more than anything?
Couldn't even get 97. He got 94.
Really? Wow, that's...
Here's what surprised me.
That's...
right? So,
like that.
guess who? Lamar got a 94, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Russell Wilson got 97. Now, does that, raise any flags to you?
Yeah,
or
yeah,
it really does.
That doesn't...
I mean, Lamar
riding,
was
riding
MVP,
little.
Yeah.
right? And, Wilson, he's getting older, but, I don't think he's 97.
They could both be 97s, honestly.
Yeah, but Lamar Jackson should at least be 95 plus.
Oh,
what
yeah,
about
definitely.
Tom Brady only being 90 overall?
I'm fine with that.
Shouldn't be
He's on the decline, and I'm loving it.
He shouldn't be a 90. He should be
Madden's
85.
finally,
But the
deciding
thing that
that
bothers
they're not
me,
right.
though,
Yeah.
and I know this bothers you just as much as me, Abbas, is that Brady still has an overall that's higher than Aaron Rodgers.
At least the 90 club, and Aaron Rodgers didn't make
That's
90
crazy.
club. But
Right.
we know that Aaron Rodgers is better than Tom Brady, so... I mean, if we were talking about pure skill, I think pure skill, Aaron Rodgers is better than Tom Brady.
I know, but given, though, I always reminisce on the fact, what if Tom Brady didn't have a Bill Belichick? Where would he be? Right?
would
And we've
not
had
be.
that conversation
Yeah.
before.
Well, we're going to see this year.
Yeah, we'll find out. But, I'm just saying in his career in general,
On a
what do you even...
non-500 team.
Yeah. We'll see what they do in the NFC South. I mean, it's still a challenging division, right?
It's going to be
And
very
you know what?
challenging.
Also, Brady's going to be on a team to where, the Saints are probably better than the Bucks, right? But we don't know that yet until the season actually happens.
Yeah.
But, there's actually a team that, because he's not going to be the top dog anymore,
Yeah.
right? He owned the AFC East for years, a decade, right? 10 straight divisional
but now he's in
titles,
somewhat
right?
of a challenge of a
Well, yeah, it's
division
going to be
finally.
interesting to see
Right.
who can have a better season, Belichick. Tom
Well,
Brady.
it's just finally nice to see he's actually facing competition instead of easily getting 6 wins.
Yeah.
His division, so.
Yeah.
Exactly, right? So, okay, and now what we wanted to get into is we had an idea of we're going to go through every division, every specific division, and go through each team in each division, and we're going to, talk about their, what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong, things they can do, whether it's trades or sign and, any free agents and any of that stuff. And the first division that I think we decided as a group to start with was the AFC North.
Yeah.
Now that has the Baltimore Ravens, all right, the Cleveland Browns. Did I say Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yeah, Pittsburgh
Yep.
Steelers.
And Pittsburgh Steelers and
The Bills.
then
Chicago.
no, that's NFC.
Yeah, it's NFC.
That's NFC. Yep, that's right. The Ravens.
You were
I
going
was
to
gonna
say
say-
you already said
Oh, and
that
I would
shit.
probably be a little quiet by now.
Fuck.
why
Yeah,
am I
you
drawing a
just,
blank?
you just need to just be quiet.
Shut up. You don't know either.
Hey, the Bengals.
The
Yeah, the
Bengals,
Bengals.
right? You know why we didn't know what the team was? Because
Because
they're
they're
non-existent and they're terrible, right?
Yeah.
But you know what? Since we forgot the Bengals, we have to make it up for it. All right, we'll start with the Bengals.
They're doing everything wrong.
All right.
Everything.
They haven't done anything to
They
it.
should have
They got
should-
Joe Burrow.
That's
Okay,
Yeah,
I
That's
mean-
the best
That's
thing that the
only
Bengals
thing.
got.
Well, that was a given that they had number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, but
Right.
surprisingly, they didn't make a stupid decision like a lot of people.
And
do with
here's
their
the
number
thing.
one pick.
If they would have fucked up and let Joe Burrow just go past number
Slide
1
on
pick,
by.
if they took Chase Young, I would still praise the Bengals if they took Chase Young.
Yeah, but that's not their needs.
But
They're just a
exactly, that's not their
quarterback.
needs,
Yeah,
Andy
right?
Dalton has just
And
been
I
doing
would,
nothing.
I would
He's
give him
just not
praise,
it.
but they wouldn't have been right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, the
but
thing is Andy Dalton came out last year actually, finally maybe Andy Dalton's making a return, and then after that, nothing happened.
yeah, all right. Then now I have a question. Let's say from training camp is coming up, right? And let's say Andy Dalton has a decent training camp, but Joe Burrow just absolutely smokes it. He gets the playbook and he's just making plays. Do you think he's going to be a straight up start over
Yeah.
Dalton?
What if it's the other way around?
That's
if
what I was
Dalton
wondering,
comes out
too.
this
I
year
was
and
like-
kills it, and Joe Burrow's a wasted draft pick.
Yeah,
Let's-
but what if then Dalton just does the same thing and doesn't even go above 500 with his team?
Yeah, but God, he's the only ginger quarterback I could ever think of.
Yeah, because you don't know any other ones.
You're right.
No.
But no, the thing with like that kind of like if I were Cincinnati, I would be kind of nervous, like because in the back of your head you're thinking like, shit, what if like Joe Burrow is a bust? Like he might not seem like it, but like when he was in Ohio State, he did all right.
Yeah.
Right, but like when he went to LSU, he blew up.
Oh, yeah.
Now let's say we had like.
Yeah, but
Ohio
this is the
State
NFL now.
Exactly.
This
That's
is a
why
whole
it's different. That's why it's different.
You're going against
right?
the best of the best from every single team.
Exactly. And like if Cincinnati and Joe Burrow was a bust, I'm sorry, Cincinnati, you're not going to be good for like another like 5 to 7 years.
They still,
not even mediocre.
Yeah.
Since he just
point.
needs, I think that
they need to do
the only thing right about their team is that they got Joe Burrow and didn't mess up like I've seen some teams do, but they're also. Their offense is ridiculously terrible. Like, their defense isn't as bad as their offense.
Yeah, no.
Now, what are your thoughts on AJ Green? Okay, so
he's getting old.
He's been off and on
prone.
with injuries. Like, he's very injury prone now, and he had, like, surgeries and all that stuff last season.
But it's still...
He didn't even really play last season.
It's still AJ Green at the end of the day.
True.
Yeah.
And
right,
don't they have that, what's that, Boyd kid?
Tyler Boyd.
Yeah. Tyler Boyd. I like him.
I think he has potential to live up to
They have
AJ.
Joe Mixon, too.
If he really could.
Joe Mixon,
Joe Mixon
he'll
has been
get
going
yards.
off and on.
He'll get
He's
yards,
always
but like,
long.
Yeah.
He's
yeah,
inconsistent.
He's very inconsistent, that's for sure. And you know why I know? Because I had him for fantasy, and some weeks I was like, yeah, let's go Mixon, like you did your fucking job. And some weeks he's like,
but at the same time,
he did piss poor. Like he could have done more.
But at the same time, he needs an offense to create that for him.
True. I mean, like now, and I have a quick question. Like this is for any team. Now, do you need a really good O line to have a good running back?
Yeah.
No.
Because do you think a
I
running
wouldn't
back
say
could
that
just
because
have
you know what? We don't have a great O line, and Philip Lindsay hit 1,000 yards rushing.
Yeah, that's true.
So would you still change your opinion on that?
So I would say yes in most cases, unless you find the back.
It depends on the running back.
It does depend on the running back. Because if the running back's really
in Cincinnati's situation,
that works with Phil Lindsay because he's fast and he's elusive. But if you have a back that's
but he said a
back,
good
then
back.
you need a good
he
line.
said a good back.
All right, let's say Joe Mixon then.
So if we're pulling a random person, if we're pulling like a random person out of nowhere, like just some random running back that doesn't even hit 1,000 yards, doesn't mean that he's gonna need.
All right,
a line.
let's say the
but
Colts.
If you have
all
people that are good, you don't.
All right.
Yeah.
Colts. They have a pretty good offensive line, probably like top 3. Colts, right?
Yeah.
Marlon Mack last season, now let's say his rookie season. Okay, he had a pretty good season. Now, if you took that O line away from him, do you think he would be as good as he lived up to his rookie season?
How are we supposed to know? I mean,
maybe. I think his O line really helped him out. I mean,
I just think
if you've seen the holes they create,
I get what you're saying, and
if you hit an open hole, that's an easy 3-4 yards.
It's true in most cases, but if you're a pretty good back, you'll be able to work through it.
Well,
how about this? Let's say you have very versatile tackles, and you're more of like an outside back and not up the middle.
Yeah.
I think that's when it really depends what on your line is actually good. Right now, because if you have good tackles and they're versatile and you're an outside back, boom, you're good. Like you're getting yards.
Outside back on your team.
But exactly, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Now, if you have versatile tackles but not an outside back, well, then you kind of have to rely on your guards to actually do something, right? Like,
that's what I was
be
saying.
able to take the first line and get to the next level to the linebackers.
I say it's true in most cases, but if you have a good back who could do by himself, that's fine.
Yeah, It just depends on the back. That's all.
Okay, but anyway,
there's running backs out there that couldn't do without a line, like Sony Michel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or James White.
Yeah.
James White is a receiving back. I would say James, like how New England has it. James White is their receiving back, and Michelle is more their like running back, right? But back to Cincinnati, right? Okay, so what do you think they're doing wrong? What I think they're doing wrong is I think they should have traded AJ Green at least a couple years ago, right?
Yeah.
Like when he was starting to slip from his prime a little bit, right? Like he's still great, right? But now it's a different story because he's fighting injuries and surgeries and all that kind of crap. Like, I don't know. I think Tyler Boyd at this point is probably, I would say, is about to take that number 1 spot from AJ Green.
Yeah, but Ty Boyd needs to still peak.
Yeah, but then he's still young. He still has years.
Yeah.
But if I were Cincinnati, I would have went back a couple years. I would have traded AJ Green at least for maybe a later for like
I would
a
rather
first
trade
or a
Andy
second.
Dalton than AJ Green.
Oh yeah, but like if you traded Dalton, like who's your backup? Like Cincinnati would have been fucked.
Yeah,
dude.
but Cincinnati's been like that for.
I know.
It probably starts with the ownership. They don't.
I think that I'd rather have AJ Green lead my offense than Andy Dalton.
Honestly, I just don't think they have that drive to go out there and be competitive.
And I think they're leaving
really
AJ Green because Joe Burrow's coming in. If he's better, if he's as good as he says, he's gonna throw grades to AJ Green in.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're a rookie quarterback, I would want to have a veteran receiver, quite honestly, because they know the game. And they could give you some pointers, and especially if he's your number one.
If you were the
learn a
Bengals
lot,
right
you learn
now,
a lot from that.
Would you rather AJ Green be your leader or Andy Dalton?
Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the quarter, and the only reason why is because he's the quarterback.
Yeah, but
right, like, and if your backup comes in out of nowhere, no chemistry between AJ Green and your backup. I don't even know the backup of Cincinnati, and that's why
I'm saying right now at this moment.
At this moment, I'd rather have AJ Green. Okay, because Andy Dalton is he's trash now. We all know that. Yeah. That's given.
Well, he hasn't been good since last.
That's what I'm saying. It's a given.
He's always just been a mediocre quarterback.
Right now,
at best.
And he's always been hyped so much to be really good.
Yeah.
But he has his breakout games.
Yeah.
But there's times where he goes against teams and just sucks because he just can't live up to that hype.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I see Cincinnati they have a young core. I mean, they have a young quarterback. Hopefully, I'm sure all those Cincinnati's fans are knocking on wood right now, right? Hopefully Joe Burrow isn't a bust. The odds of him being a bust, I don't know. I wouldn't say very high or likely.
Yeah.
But you never know. Thought is still in the back of their heads.
I would say because.
But you also have Joe Mixon and Tyler Boyd
in a championship game, so you can't really. The thing is I don't like Joe Burrow very much, but I can respect his game enough. I can respect his game enough to know that I don't think he's going to be a bust.
Well, he's
I
not
want
him
him
to
to
be.
I don't like him, but
they're not going to have a great season this year. I just think he needs a couple more pieces around
I think they need to just realize that they're not going to be good for a minute.
Yeah,
they're not going to be a good team.
They're still in rebuild. I mean,
exactly. That's why I'm just saying they're not going to be good for a minute. They got to go through the stages, and they're like full rebuild now.
I know.
They got Joe Burrow. They're going to start getting a whole bunch of pieces around him.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, and this league is evolving so much, and as you see new GMs come in and more owners come in, they start to play different pieces in what they've got going in their culture, right? And what they've got. But nowadays, when you have a mediocre team or a bad team, most GMs and owners are like, okay, now let's go ahead and rebuild. Mm-hmm. Let's just totally like clear house, get some capital, and then we go out from there. And then hopefully, like you're taking odds on like signing free agents and drafting certain players, because you hope that they actually build chemistry together. And due to their play styles, it's just a whole political game when it comes to being a GM.
You ask this question, especially as a Bengals fan, because they don't really win much. It's like, would you rather be good for the next 3 years with veterans, or would you rather be good for the next 10 years with the future? That's why people
the Dolphins, for 2 seasons we were mediocre as fuck, and we went fucking 8-8, 7-9, and I was like, I don't like this. Like we have that playoff hope, quote unquote playoff hope, for at least the wild card, but nope, that slips away, and you're like, it's devastating. I'd rather have my team go like 3-13 like the Dolphins did last season, and just to start building a culture in your team to actually finally have a season to where you actually boom, you actually made divisional. You didn't even need to worry about wild card.
I think once your team finally makes it past at least 6 wins, you can say that, or at least close to 500. Maybe one game away, you can say that they're not in super rebuild mode anymore. They're finally finding their pieces.
Yeah. I would say the 6 to probably 9 win game, 9 wins a game. Yeah, 6 to 9 wins.
Either
a game.
one game below or one game higher. You could say you're not.
Right, it's a whole range and everything. But if I were Cincinnati, if I were in Cincinnati's eyes, I could see a little bit of a bright future. We got people like Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, 2 Joes, backfield Joes,
Yeah.
right? And
The backfield Joes.
someone should trademark that. Anyway, you got Tyler Boyd.
AJ Green.
And AJ Green, like he'll be a good leader, and
They-
I think
see, the
AJ
thing
Green
is-
is gonna like that position that he's in.
They have offensive weapons already.
Yeah.
They
Right.
already have Tyler Boyd, AJ Green, and Joe Mixon already.
Yeah.
So they just need to
Isn't
find.
there tight end like named like Tyler Effort?
I forget.
Yeah.
I wanted to
Two,
say him, but
that's
I didn't-
funny because 2 Tylers and 2 Joes.
I didn't
want
want to. I didn't want to be mistaken on his name. I don't want to make sure he was on the Bengals, so I didn't say it.
You said it better than I did. I said
Tyler
effort.
He's and him. He's pretty decent.
He's
so
alright.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's
the thing
young
is
tight
I
end.
think
not bad.
maybe if I was them, maybe find another running back. Maybe you don't because you need someone
Yeah.
else to help Joe Mixon, and then
Yeah.
get an O-line.
Yeah,
You
they
know.
have.
They need a line.
Oh, what's his name?
I can't remember his name.
It's a weird name, but like their backup running back, he's not too bad. Like he's, I would say below average if you put him on a scale from good to bad, and average being in the middle. I would think he'd be in between bad and average, probably a little bit below average.
Giovanni Bernard.
Yeah, Gionavi. I can't even say it.
Bernard.
Right. But no, like back to what I was saying. Cincinnati, I could see the hope in the future, but you also you have to rely on this young core to actually build and do something, and to have that chemistry, right? Like,
Yeah.
You know.
I think that. Okay, let's do prediction record for Cincinnati.
Okay. Given
Uh,
their schedule and building of a team, I would say 5-11.
yeah, 5-11.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I think that would be a bold
6-10
prediction.
at the most.
Yeah, like
then
give
what's
or
the worst
take
you
one-
could
see?
Give or take one.
What's
win,
the worst
right?
you could see him?
2-12. No, it's 14 weeks. Jesus Christ.
2-14.
2-14.
Really, that's the worst.
I say
Yeah.
4.
I say at least 4-12.
4-12 is the worst.
I'm
I think
saying-
give or take 5-11. That's what
I'm saying 2-14 if Joe Burrow comes out and really is
I
not
just
clicking with the offense.
Don't think he can be that bad. But all right,
Given
so
that
let's
he broke
move
records
on.
beyond records in college, I'm like it's different transitioning from college to NFL. I mean, it's a whole different story, and we could talk about that later. But
Let's go to the Browns.
the Browns,
Let's go to Cleveland.
okay. Here's what I'm worried about with the Browns.
The quarterback.
They
Yeah,
not just that, but their culture is.
it's toxic.
Their
it's
locker
very
room is
toxic.
so toxic. They have Beckham
They
in
can't
the
even.
locker
They
room.
can't even commit to a
Like,
coach.
Yeah,
yet
no.
even a GM.
And
right?
Beckham
And-
wants to wear his little nice $300,000 Richard Mille watch,
Yeah.
so he can flex on the football field for what reason?
Here's the thing.
I used to like Odell too,
I did
but
too.
I thought
but
very
when
highly of him. But he's been such a
he's
been
not
such
he's
a
toxic.
crappy dude lately.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's because they tried to build this superstar team and just those egos have just been butting heads.
Well, you have Jarvis Landry,
Right, and
and
get-
Odell.
get
They're like the
this-
same people.
Yeah,
and
no,
then
not at all.
Baker Mayfield.
Oh, yeah.
The only one that's good is
I
Nick
swear
Chubb.
to God,
Yeah.
when remember we were all hanging out. You, me, and Dean were hanging out, and you guys got the notification that Jarvis Landry was traded to the Browns. I thought that was an absolute fucking joke, and I was like, no, you gotta be joking. And
Yeah.
we got a second round out of it, but
It's-
like, really, like, then the Browns. This is when like the Browns were like total trash, right? And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I was like, no, it's not true. And better yet, I get a notification saying, yep, Jarvis Landry, second round pick, trade like
It's
with the
just
Browns.
because
Like, oh shit.
nobody on that team
Right.
is humble, and nobody's
No,
willing to
well, the
step
thing
up
is
and
that
take
Odell and Jarvis
leadership
Landry are
role.
literally like the same people because they literally hung out with each other.
Here's the
Yeah,
rundown.
They went to the same college, LSU.
Yeah,
So they know each other too well, and they get together. They're gonna have an all fun time. But then when it comes to the game, you could tell that they during that week of practice or any of that they
They're
probably
trying to
were just
compete.
dicking around
Yeah.
and just chilling the bag.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, bro, let's go do this after like I don't know. I thought very highly of both of them, but
Me
they've
too.
kind of brought very dickish like fucking
Vibes.
attitudes to me.
Oh yeah.
Right,
Definitely.
okay. Here's the rundown. The Browns have an ideal franchise. They do, but given the fact that, like I was saying, like the locker room, and not even that, but the office too, can't even like get their shit together, right?
Their head coach is
Get this.
he's
Their head
gone.
coach is
Because didn't
awful.
they just get Green Bay's
Yeah.
head coach? He's
Oh,
their
Mike
open-
McCarthy.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, the Cowboys did.
No, the Cowboys did.
Who got?
I don't know,
I
but
don't know.
God
Yeah, I
knows
don't know
what.
who the
Freddie
coach is.
Kitchens is gone. Whoever else, Hugh Jackson or whatever he was prior. Anyway,
God, they're God.
Yeah.
Their coaching staff has always been terrible.
But get this.
Their head coach is Kevin Stefanski.
We'll see how he does. This is third coach in 3 years, so we'll find out, right? Okay, so you have...
He was the Vikings offensive coordinator.
We'll see.
That's,
right. Here's the rundown for Cleveland. I mean, they had it going, but given that they have a very toxic locker room, it's not going to work. And the thing about having a toxic locker room, it also burns chemistry. Mm-hmm. And that's not a good thing, right? And then you have people like Myles Garrett who, like, he's had a couple incidents, right? Like, and you don't, like, he's a great player. Like, I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But when you don't want a player that, like, it's a give and take. Like, he's a great player, but he also has things like that. He has attitude. But same with OBJ.
It's the player that's on and off the field. Yeah. You want that player on your team by off and on the field. That's why OBJ, if he ever wants to get traded, he's not going to get that many looks because it's not just about how your game is on the field. People like the attitude you have off the field when no one's watching.
But
and
also
no one has
GMs
to
and coaches like to look at is like, is he actually going to get along with my team? Right? Like, is this a safe move to bring in?
You don't want to bring him in and then him just totally make the whole locker room talk.
They did not think about that.
Right.
We knew that was going to happen, though. We said it.
Yeah.
Here's what Cleveland did right. Okay, they had a pretty good trade for OBJ.
Yeah.
And Jarvis Landry. Like, they have good receivers. Like, and this is minus all the toxicity in their locker room, right?
They have a lot
They got a high round draft, like wasn't Baker Mayfield a number one?
I think so.
Yeah, okay, so he got number one pick quarterback. He had promise this rookie season.
Yeah,
that was too. Like,
because they were talking about him maybe going to number 5 at least.
Right.
Maybe even jumping out of the Broncos, and I was kind of
scared. But they also got a diamond in the rough. They got Nick Chubb. He's a good running back.
Their running back position's fine. The thing
by the way, they finessed Kareem Hunt, right? Like, he had a whole issue, and I think that's another reason why we look at the Browns as, like, a very toxic locker room, is because also, like...
They just care about winning at this point. That's all they want.
And we'll see how that works out. I mean, clearly it didn't work out last season.
But I think okay, so here's what the Browns are doing right. I think that they are filling skill positions correctly, and that they're doing well on that part.
They have
besides their quarterback. But I think that the problem is that it's really patchy. Only some of the places on the field are good, really good, and then some of them are just terrible. Yeah, like, see, the linebackers are okay, but Schobert, isn't that Schobert dude? Is he still on the team?
Yeah. He's a good linebacker.
I think he's a good inside linebacker.
Yeah, but y'all look at also your secondary.
That's what I'm saying. It's patchy because you have people like him, and then that cornerback, what's his name? Denzel.
Well, you have Denzel Ward and Greedy Williams. That's a pretty good backfield. I mean, you give Greedy Williams a couple years to actually develop along.
That's why I call
Denzel Ward.
That's why I call it patchy, is because in some places it's really good, and in some places it's awful.
And same with the offense. Your skill is good, but your line could. Like, I mean, Cleveland had their line, and then you had retirements and trades.
Don't disregard that Baker Mayfield did not come out last season and do good.
That surprised me. Now it makes me iffy. I'm like, well, is he actually going to, like, the possibility of him being a bust is still there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, he had promise in his rookie season, but given last season, I'm like...
Yeah, because it was time for... And he got given good wide receivers. Doesn't matter if they have a crappy attitude. He got given somewhat decent wide receivers.
He's giving their fan base insecurity. Right? Their
fan base is emotions at anything. Because think about it. You're a Cleveland Brown fan. You're like, we got OBJ, Nick Chubb.
You could go ahead and flex your skill players,
but think about it. At the end of the day, that team folded, and we saw that. We saw that first-handedly. Just seeing the Browns every week, thinking, hey, maybe they're finally going to make 500. Because I don't think they made 500, right? They got 7-9 this year.
I think so.
They didn't make 500.
They have Austin Hoople too. They got him from
they signed a record. They signed a record-breaking deal.
I forgot about that.
But also, David Njoku wants to be traded.
See, Njoku was a good guy.
He is a good tight end.
They'll get a third round out of him
because he's pretty quick too. That's the thing.
But
he's
get this.
Quick and he's also strong.
Here's what Cleveland did wrong. They valued talent over actually building genuine chemistry.
Oh, they were 6-10 last year.
Yeah. Not close to 500, right?
Yeah.
Cleveland, what they did wrong is they didn't start from the roots. they fucked up in the office.
Yep.
Okay, and same with coaches and coordinators, along with that, and then also with players. They valued players' talent, and not like they didn't even think for 2 seconds like. Are they going to build a culture? Well, they did build a culture, but not a very good one.
Well,
right?
Yeah,
like
no.
a culture of toxicity is what I call it.
Yeah, definitely.
And that the Browns, it seemed like they were confused whether they were going to rebuild or they were going to try and find key players. And that's what they confused everybody on. We didn't know if the Browns were just going to restart or if they were going to... It's like they tried rebuilding, but at the same time adding a bunch of skilled players, but that are not very... Like, they got young players, but 2 wide receivers that are not very young.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you don't... I think it gets everybody confused on whether you're a team that's trying to rebuild or a team that's just trying to get better. So,
Right.
I think that's what confused a lot of people and a lot of their fan base and gave them a lot of mixed emotions because they didn't know what exactly they were doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Right, okay, and now let me get started with our next team.
Yep.
Okay, Pittsburgh Steelers, right?
They're moving up. They're on the rise, I think.
I think so too. Like, they've always been a pretty good team. They're at least, for sure, wild card, if not divisional team. They have been, like, for God knows how long. And they're, like, tied with, like, San Francisco and Dallas with most Super Bowls or something like that.
Yep.
I'm like, for the record, I'm hyping up their defense right now. I really think their defense is going to be something big in the next 1 or 2 years.
I do too.
Which that breaks my heart every day. Every time I think
defense
of
is pretty
Mika
young,
Fitzpatrick, and it makes me sad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like their defense, they've got T.J. Watt, right?
Yeah, well, we know
TJ
the Steelers'
Watt.
defense.
Yeah, we do.
Good.
Yeah.
And the good linebacker core. I'm excited, and like I'm calling it now. They'll be a top 3 defense in the next 1 or 2 years.
I think so too. I would agree.
I'd say top 5.
And we'll find out.
Yeah.
But offensively, they've got it going. Juju Smith,
Well, yeah, because they still got
right?
Ben Roethlisberger. You still have him come back, and even when Rudolph was in, it's not like they went 2-14.
He shaved the beard.
And I think he could
He
have a
shaved the
big.
beard.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did.
And what his vow was, he was like, until I actually throw the football with one of my teammates, is when I'll shave the beard. And he could have gone away with being Santa Claus at the mall. Like
Definitely.
I'm telling you, like his
It was
beard was
bad.
godly. Right?
I mean,
Like,
it was good. It was good, but it was like a lot.
Oh yeah. I really think he's gonna have a comeback season.
Yeah, well,
he's coming
everyone
off
knows that one.
a season-ending
Yeah.
injury, right? And he had
I mean, hopefully he just doesn't get his
Surgery,
head slammed in like Mason Rudolph.
I feel sorry for the dude. He's got a
Yeah,
dent
me
in his
too.
head now. Like,
Yeah.
right.
And they also they traded for Eric Ebron this offseason too.
Who
They've
did?
got a good new offseason.
He was a Pro Bowler. And
Who did?
Steelers, they got Eric Ebron.
Really? I like Ebron. I'm very high on Ebron.
Yeah, me too.
I think he's
He's a good-
definitely
I do too.
always
He's a
just
good
that
tight
tight end.
I mean, they already had decent tight ends. They had T.J. McDonald and and who was the other one?
Yeah, but
Jesse
Ebron.
James.
Jesse James.
Ebron's always been a really good tight end, especially
And
being
I mean,
on
he
a-
was in the Pro Bowl like not
Yeah.
even like 2 years ago. Like, no, I'm excited. James Conner. I like James Conner. Right.
They could do better.
Like,
James Conner is not
What's
that.
their backup now? Like, I forget his name. I'm not good with backups, but Jalen Samuels or something like that. I know his last name is Samuels. But I think he's a very versatile running back, and I think that's good.
I don't
when it comes to running backs.
James Conner.
James Conner is inconsistent at times.
Well, he's slow.
But
he's not
yeah,
very
but
fast.
like he's like 4th and 1 goal line back more than anything, right? But like he could still like he could get yards.
I don't.
He's a power back for sure.
I think power backs are better. I think you have to get
If you're
another
building
running back who's
if you're
gonna be
building a
fast.
franchise, would you get like a versatile like running back like
That's
McCaffrey, or would you have a power back?
See,
like,
that's hard because I think that
I'd rather have a power back.
I like power backs.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna praise Saquon really quick because I think he's a bit of both. I really think he's a power back. Have you seen his stiff arms? And he's very elusive and he is very athletic. And he's gonna be a Hall of Famer.
Let me praise someone real quick. Let me praise, not because he was a Bronco at one point, C.J. Anderson.
He was
He
good.
was everything. Everybody.
He
knew
is
that
a versatile
everything.
power back.
He wasn't just a power back. He was pretty quick.
Yeah.
He can get through holes pretty quick, and he had some elusiveness as being a big.
Dude, I remember when the Broncos were
definitely.
Super Bowl team, right? I remember watching him and I was like, damn, he's a good running back. Like he would go and like that was
and then
the
when he
best
went
part.
to the Panthers, and the Rams should have kept him. Rams made a mistake.
Yeah, they really
because when he did good for Todd Gurley when he was.
Oh yeah, he did.
Oh, yeah.
When he played Dallas, like in the playoffs. Like he ran yards, man. He definitely he had like I know for a fact at least 130 some yards.
Yeah.
Like I remember reading the stat line. It was 135, I believe, but I don't remember, so don't quote me on that. But I'm pretty sure it was like 130 something.
No, it's just.
But here's what the Steelers are doing good. They're still being able to maintain that, basically their ego of, yeah, we're a playoff team.
Yeah.
Right? And they made playoffs last year, did they? I don't think they did.
Who did?
Steelers? Pittsburgh?
I don't know.
I don't think they did because it was off and on with
close.
Mason Rudolph and
they went 8-8 last year. I think.
They had Devin Hodges too.
Yeah, it was a weird situation when it came to quarterbacks, and clearly quarterbacks affected their team. Anyway, what I think they should work on is I feel like they might still have a little bit of trouble in the locker room a little bit. Yeah, like after Le'Veon Bell and AB were gone, I still think they need to recuperate and be able to build chemistry on what they've got going on.
I'd say maybe on the offensive locker room, but I think they're clicking in the defensive.
Oh yeah, they've got it going. They've got young stars, and I think they're going big.
You know, it's not terrible, but maybe their O-line just to beef it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I was actually thinking about this when we were on the topic of the Browns.
Because I was like, have Le'Veon Bell anymore. They have James Conner now, so
yeah,
you need that. You just need to beef it up a little bit. So
no, but good for Pittsburgh, not holding on to
they're finally on
They're
track.
like, you know what?
Oh yeah.
They're like, who do we value more? Do we actually try? They took the risk of, okay, we know if we let AB and Le'Veon Bell go, they're gonna we're gonna be a shitty team, right? But in their case, they really didn't go too bad. They didn't fall far from that. They're we need to stop this toxic in the locker room.
And think about that. They threw out toxicity from the locker room.
That's
because
exactly.
AB is super toxic.
And Le'Veon Bell had
somewhat.
Yeah, he was
definitely.
Good for them for doing that. But I still think they should build chemistry the right way, offensively at least.
Yeah.
But they'll get there. I mean, I could see promise with what they got going on.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
All right, now let's move on to the division winner.
And the final team, by the way,
You got the Ravens.
of the AFC North, the Baltimore Ravens,
Now,
who absolutely choked playoffs. By the way, I thought they had it going for them. My bold prediction last season was definitely either Chiefs or Ravens from the AFC.
Oh, yeah.
NFC, I was still in question. I think the Saints could have had it, but I also had in the back of my head, I'm like, the Saints find their way to fall to Minnesota, and yet they did.
All right, I'll go first. I think the thing that they do wrong, because you can't say much about a 14-2 team doing wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
But I will say the thing that they're doing wrong right now is I think in the big moment, they have players that won't step up, but not just players, coaches. I think that Harbaugh is not making when I seen what he was coaching against Tennessee, he wasn't changing anything. He wasn't trying.
He stuck to the
new.
script, and sometimes in cases when the script isn't working, you kind of have to switch the script, right?
Because he was used to that script just dominating everybody.
Scripting your game is very
you can't do that.
Very risky
and here's why: because games are unpredictable.
Oh,
You cannot script a game. You can't assume what the team's gonna do because it's playoffs. And there's new elements. There's
playoffs a different beast. Everybody pretty much
new evolved playbooks in the playoffs. You're not going to use your playoff playbook when let's say regular season. You're going to have new plays in the playoffs.
Well, because
clearly
everyone knows your playbook now. Everyone's been studying that for 2 weeks that you've been out. Everyone's been studying your playbook because you guys are going to be the hardest opponents. So I think that they messed up on just going straight in there thinking that they were going to dominate. I think that they went in there thinking that they were going to dominate, so they didn't have the strive to win like Tennessee wanted to.
Yeah.
They didn't have that chip where they're like, I need this, so I'm going to put everything I got. And when that happens and the tone gets set for the game, and we've seen that before, especially as Broncos fans, we've seen a tone get set off the first play of the game. So I think that it was a tone setter, and I think very highly of. I don't like the Ravens, but I like Lamar Jackson, and I think that's the really good part they're doing. Is their offense is dangerous, but their defense too. Their defense needs some.
Here's
places.
what surprised me: in the draft, in the second round, they took DeAndre Swift. I was very, very, very surprised about that because, like, on offense, they've got it going. They've got Hollywood Brown, right, and like.
See, they have offensive threats.
They do that. They're skill players, and they also have their line. Like, it's going good. Mark Andrews is good. Everything.
What scares me a little bit is their defense. They have some good people like Marlon Humphreys, and
I think it was smart to get. Like, I don't think they traded. I think they signed Earl Thomas.
They did. And
they traded for Marcus Peters. I think that was very smart. Start from the secondary and work your way in. I think that's smart. And they also have Calais Campbell, so I think that's promising for the defense. We'll have to see. You know,
it just needs. I just think the defense is more. If you were to look at something, it's either the defense or
when it comes down to it, defense wins championships.
Because we know Harbaugh is a great coach. We know that.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. But we also know that you can't. Scripting plays is only good for. Either some quarterbacks or so long. Because you can go out the great quarterback and script it because they'll change it.
Here, you can okay, go ahead.
I think, unlike the Browns, they did a good job of building a superstar team, but having that team actually mesh together well and having that team be successful.
Well, Baltimore has a culture. I mean, and they have a specific play style, and you know it. They, like, run the ball, use your versatility,
all
and
about
do,
speed.
Like, play actions, like, all about speed. They're all about that, right? But also, back to the plays, you can only go off script to a certain extent because you have to realize also your team could only, like, they only know, like, only a certain extent of plays, right? Like, your rookies might not know the playbook as well as, like, I don't know, like a 5 to 7 year veteran on your team, right? And, and that's what you have to think about, too, because you can't have, like, some hardcore, like, play, like trick play kind of shit going on, you know.
And I think Lamar Jackson needs to step up if he doesn't feel the plays right. Because when you're a coach, you know, like Harbaugh knows, but when you're a quarterback, you see the field and you can see what's about to happen. If the coach doesn't see something, and you should be able to make that change.
Yeah,
and that's what these like you'll see Aaron Rodgers or Peyton Manning or Tom Brady or any of these greats. Do that. They'll change
and that comes with years of experience. I mean, this last season, wasn't that his, like, second year?
Mm-hmm.
Like, second, third year? Like, it comes with experience.
Second. Yeah.
Exactly. He got an MVP, by the way, in his second season. Props to him. Like, good for him. We all knew he was going to be what everyone calls him, quote-unquote, cheat code. He is fast as fuck, and, like, he knows how to get you.
Not everybody, because out of college, people were doubting him. I called it. I knew he was going to be great.
Yeah. He's just not quite.
But I'm just saying when he was in the NFL, like, Baltimore hyped him up, and you could see teams as they, like, had him pass on back, right? They had a little bit of regret. Like, after seeing him...
I think it's just going to take time for him to be ready for the playoffs. He can dominate the season, but I think he had his taste of playoffs.
Yeah.
So,
but given on top that Harbaugh didn't, change script, and you know what? Like, it comes with experience, back to the experience thing. Lamar Jackson needs experience to be able to audible the right way.
Yeah, exactly. He's not quite comfortable calling the shots yet on offense.
And who knows?
That'll
like,
come with time.
Yeah, and it does come with time. And as soon as he gets it, like, he'll like start to blow up again.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Dominate.
Like,
I mean, it could happen next year.
Yeah, it could.
We'll see, and maybe, like, that's what he's doing, like, right at this minute. He's, like, studying film and defenses and formations, like. As a quarterback, you got to know the defense I take that back. As every position, no matter you're on offense or defense, you need to know how to be able to play the other side.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because if you're on defense and you're a linebacker, you're like, you kind of got to know and you have to figure out the formations, whether it's like, you know, like shotgun or gun, whatever.
Yeah.
Or pistol, whatever, like single back, like all those formations. You got to be able to read that and kind of get an idea of what.
Well, that's just straight fundamentals.
I mean, like, that's why Luke Kuechly was so good. He was able to read like that, man. Like,
I feel like fundamentals aren't big anymore in today's game. I feel like people forget about the fundamentals and they just want to show off or do trick plays or.
They're like, you know what? I know my position so well, and like that's it. Like, you don't like. I just know my position very well. Just keep practicing at my position, not even, like Lamar Jackson. Hopefully he's like studying defenses, right? Like, and if he is, like, good for him. I know he already is or already has, because most quarterbacks nowadays do.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, in some of the press conferences you see, like, after or post game, right? Like that, like quarterbacks talk about defense like they're the freaking defensive coordinator. Like Deshaun Watson, for example, like he's got, like, he knows how to read defenses. Like he's like, oh yep, when I see the safety drop in or like safety drop back, oh yep, cover 2, right? Like he's very good at that.
I see these videos on YouTube of these players explaining how they don't even play that position nor that side, but they can explain how they do it. Like I'll see like a safety or something talk about how a wide receiver runs a certain route, or how they line up at the formation, what formation they're using when they're about to line up.
Right, and also, you know what? If you wanted to be a good player, like whether either side, like let's say, for example, so it doesn't get so complicated. Let's say you're a DB, a safety, right? Like you got to know what you're going against, right? You kind of want to look at like who's the offensive coordinator for this team, or coordinator for the other team. Sorry. Yeah. Like, who is the coordinator, and what's his play style?
Yeah.
Given his play style, then that
play style tells you a lot.
You adjust to the play style, and once you got that, boom, you're good.
Yeah, exactly.
Play style tells you a lot about a team. So, I think if you figure out if they like to run or pass more, you're going to realize what more coverages you need to be in, and then when you see them come out in that uncertain coverage, you know exactly what they're going for.
Yeah.
So I think a play style is pretty decent, decently used when you look at film and all that, and you look at what they run the most. So, yeah.
You know, it's not just skill; it's also having the knowledge.
It's strategy. It's a strategy game. A lot of things in life is strategy. Yeah. You have to know how to get through certain situations, puzzling situations.
You know, you're in a deep conversation of football when you start connecting it to life. You know,
well,
lessons,
if you think
right?
about it's true.
And it is like football. It's a game, and games have strategy, and life is a game, and it's strategy, right? Like
whether you like it or not, any game you play is most likely strategy.
Yep, that's how you know when you've been podcasting for 40 minutes. Start talking about life.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay, so that is our I'm gonna say debriefing of the AFC North.
Yep.
We kind of went through teams, up and downs, and things they could do.
Yep.
I hope you enjoyed this, and I think next episode we'll go with either an AFC West or an AFC East.
Oh, yeah,
I think good. So. We're gonna go ahead and get our research on, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening.
Goodbye.
Bye.